Hey, all you heroes, hawks, heralds, crows, pirates, and wardens. Welcome to the Dragon Age Lorecast, where we unpack, discuss, and galaxy brain about all the lore behind the Dragon Age series.
We are so excited to bring you this podcast. Every episode, we'll be talking about a different topic in the Dragon Age universe. From character deep dives to exalted marches and elven gods, we will cover it all.
There will be spoilers. And always remember, swooping is bad.
Hello and welcome to the Dragon Age Lorecast, where we talk about all things Dragon Age and its lore. I am one of your hosts, Austin, also known as Shecup.
And I'm your other host, Shelby or Shecup.
And we are here with some very special guests because it is that time again. It is time for our monthly patron chat. I cannot talk today. It is time for our monthly patron chat.
It is. It is. You are really struggling with your words today, Austin.
Words is hard. Where's Tom when I
Words
need
are
him?
hard. Yeah, fair.
Let's go ahead and introduce our patrons. And I'm just going to start with my screen as I always do. And so that's LVCC13 coming all the way from across the Great Pacific Ocean.
Hi, everyone. I am LVCC13 or Lizzie. It's great to be here.
And then also from across the Pacific Ocean somewhere, Lewis.
Hey everyone, super stoked to be back.
And then in the opposite of the ocean, Psych.
Hi, what's up?
And then we have Capricorn Tower.
Hey, I'm Capricorn Tower, also known as Nick.
And then Steven.
Hello, great to be here.
And then our neighbor up north from us, Wes.
Hi, I spell words like armor and favorite correctly.
Oh, congratulations. And then last but certainly not least, the one from the state that's least southern.
Hi, I'm Kolkashens.
Shelby's going to cut out all of these introductions, so that's why I went for that one.
Just for that, I'm not cutting them out.
Oh, good. Good. He's going to fight me about Kentucky.
He's so mad.
We'll have words later.
I love you, Kolkashens. Just remember, however mean you are, I can take it out on you at D&D.
There.
Danger.
All right. Anyway, back to Dragon Age. We're here to talk about a topic of who's your favorite ship, I guess, is the right way to do it. Is that not it?
No.
One romance? I don't know what's happening.
Not at all. That's inaccurate. The topic that we're discussing was actually submitted by Patron, and it is, what companions do you want to hook up or be in a relationship with each other? So like NPCs, not your player character. Who do you want in universe, in Dragon Age, to get together?
Okay, but you acted like I was like 100, like way off in left field. Like I was close.
You are pretty far out there.
No. I was
okay.
I'll stand by it.
I think we'll just have to agree to disagree.
All right. Well, let's just get started before I shove my foot further into my mouth.
Well, do you want me to go through some of the examples that we do have, like, of relationships that are in game in like certain situations?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So in certain situations, generally, if the player character does not romance the companion, these characters get together. So first, Dorian and Iron Bull can get together in Inquisition. Also in Inquisition, Sarah and Dagna can get together. As we know, in Origins, Isabella and Zevran can get together and have gotten together in the past, probably with other people too. Also in Dragon Age 2, Isabella and Fenris can get together if you don't romance either of them. Cole and Meriden can get together under certain situations. Krim and Meriden can also get together. And then Josephine and Blackwall can get together. And then one that I didn't put on here is Harding and Professor Kenrick from the Jaws of Hacken DLC. They have a little flirtation ship via codex entry in that DLC that you can find. So those are some fun little examples of the kinds of relationships that we're talking about. So before we get started going around, does anyone have any thoughts or questions so far? No? Okay. Well, I guess who wants to go first?
I can go first. So my initial and 100% correct choice is merging characters from Dragon Age 1, my best friend, Ride or Die Alistair, and in Dragon Age 2, my best friend, Ride or Die Aveline. I think they're just the same character, but a male and a female version, and I think they get along great. They have the same morals. They have the same, they act the same. I think they'd be great together. Also, she can smack Alistair when he's dumb, and that seems like something that needs to be done every now and then.
I think that would only work if Alistair was still a Grey Warden and not King, because Aveline had such a freaking freak out, I guess it's the best term, for like, oh my gosh, I'm the guard captain and I like one of my subordinates. What do I do? Also, besides the fact of oh my gosh, I like somebody, she would never be able to get over that whole, oh my God, he's the king thing. And she would not want to be a queen. Aveline is not about that life.
Yeah, I agree. I also, Psych in chat said, Wes with the hot take out of the gate. I do agree. I think this is a hot take. It is what Wes does. It's his secret talent for having hot takes, but it's not the craziest one out there. I will say it's not the craziest one out there, but I agree with you, Lizzie, that I think that Alistair has to be a Grey Warden for it to work. So, Wes, I guess you're not a fan of Donick then.
No, he's kind of just there.
So you don't like the quests getting them together?
You know what? I would rather spend my time doing anything else in Dragon Age 2.
I thought you were going to say something else that is to remain unspoken and unsaid in my presence, and I was ready to fight you.
Also, it might be spite, because if there was one romance I could have in Dragon Age 2, it would be Aveline. Also, she has a thing for Templars already, so that's going for it. That's going for me. Married to the best character in all of Dragon Age.
I think you're a little biased there.
Are you saying Aveline is the best character in all of Dragon Age?
No, she married the best character in all of Dragon Age. Templar Wesley.
You can't be serious. You can't be serious. I needed the defense, Wes. We're waiting.
Well, he's just got the best name in the entire series. There's nothing I can say about it.
Boo! Everyone, boo this man.
Boo! It's very bold.
Boo! Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be here all week.
Anyone want to go next?
I will. This is technically cheating, but I will die on this hill. We should have had the option in Dragon Age Inquisition to have a poly relationship with Dorian and the Iron Bull. I will die on this hill. It would have been freaking hilarious. Can you imagine all of the party banter and reactions? Can you imagine Cassandra's reaction? How loud the disgusted noise would potentially have been at some of the crap that came out of everyone else's mouths about that relationship.
Well, I mean, if you just take Iron Bull's romance scene in Skyhold, which is hilarious, easily the funniest thing that happens in Inquisition, and just like add in another factor, like, oh my God, that would have been hilarious.
I could see that going two ways. One way, like Dorian walks in with everyone else and he was like, without me, how rude. You guys should have sent a messenger, or he's there too and just starts sassing everybody.
I feel like Mother Giselle would have something to say.
She'd have an aneurysm is what she'd have.
Yeah, probably something snarky. I wish I could be mean, not mean, but like I wish I could be as snarky and unnecessarily rude as she is about Dorian back to her.
I feel like we would have to like redo a lot of the companion dialogue. I'm just thinking of the Sarah and Iron Bull conversation about falling through a tree into thick custard. And I'm like, if I had a Kunari Inquisitor, I feel like we could make so many other food puns.
This is fair. Anybody else have thoughts about that or want to go next?
I will go next because I was almost going to say the same thing, but until I was thinking about it and I realized how happy, literally so happy it would make me to have Zevran and Alistair get together. Just ultimate epitomes of innocence and not innocence. Experience. We'll go with experience. Zevran would just corrupt Alistair very quickly, and it would make me so happy.
There are a lot of fics along those lines.
I would pay to hear Wynn's companion dialogue on that ship.
Oh, so much money.
Yes.
That would be hilarious. I also, though, I do feel like that has like some enemies to lovers themes in there because like when you first meet Zevran, Alistair hates his guts. Like he is so mad at you for like bringing Zevran into the party. So
Spicy drama.
Can you
Very
imagine
spicy.
the scene in Redcliffe if you side with the mages and Inquisition and Alistair comes sauntering in? And you know Zevran would be a spy master if they were together. Like he wouldn't just be there as arm candy. He'd be like, no, I'm going to work and be your spy master. Those reactions. Liliana would have so many comments in Inquisition about it.
yeah, I definitely feel like they would have like a major competition between the two of them. Like, okay, who's going to be better? Whereas like Varric as a spy master is just very much like, yeah, I'm never going to be at Liliana's level. We all know it. It's okay. Austin, do you want to go next?
Yes.
Did you come up with an answer beforehand or are you just now thinking of it?
I'll let you come to your own conclusions about that.
I am shocked.
I do kind of like the Zevran and Alistair, though, one. I'm thinking about that one. I think that is very, very interesting, though I can't decide, and I guess I'd open this up for discussion. I can't decide if it would be better with an Alistair who's mean or an Alistair who is not mean, because I don't want to use the other words in relation to Zevran's relationship.
Innocent. Go with the innocent Alistair. It is far
100%.
better that way.
I don't think that he would stay innocent, though. That whole thing with Goldana, because if they were in a relationship, Zevran totally would have gone with them into the house. He would have been like, my dude, I love you, but you got to stop being such a pushover.
Pushover is not the word he would use.
What is this podcast rated, Austin?
I could also see Zevran in that situation being like, oh, my love, my sweet, don't you worry about that. I will fix all of this. And then
That's true.
Assassinating Goldana.
He'd be like, oh, my sweet summer child. Let me take care of this.
I don't think it would work with hardened Alistair.
I think that's how it has to work.
I hate you. You are the worst.
I can't even comment without dropping this podcast further into the depths of Hades.
Anyway, I think now would be a good time to go to our mid-break.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Hawk stepped in the poopy.
I love you.
Want a sandwich?
All this for me. And I didn't get Alexius anything. Send him a fruit basket. Everyone loves those.
Welcome to the middle of the show where we talk about everything about the podcast that does not have to do with the lore of Dragon Age, but does have to do with this podcast. And so here's where I thank our patrons, like our patrons that we have here. And I'm going to give a special shout out to our patrons who do get shouted out on every episode of the show. And so that is obviously one of our first patrons, which is Genesis. Also, our Divine Tier patron, Kit. A shout out to them. And then obviously our special shout out to Lewis H., the Nug King, the one, the only. And if you'd like to join us on these chats, if you'd like to join us on Patreon, you can sign up there. You can find the link in the episode description. You can sign up. If you sign up at the first Enchanter tier or higher, you can join us for these chats that we have once a month. And so we greatly appreciate your support there. If you can't support us financially, we get it. Another great way to support us is to leave us ratings and reviews on Apple or Spotify. If you leave us 5 stars and some kind words, we will read them out on a future episode of the show. Also, you can come and hang out with us on Discord. You can find all these great people with us on Discord. You can find that link in the episode description. You can come and hang out and talk about this show or our other shows, and you can be there with us and just have a great time. And so with that, I am going to turn it back over to Shelby for the rest of the episode.
Anyway, let's get back to the show.
Up there, giant icicle tits. Tittles.
You're looking for titsicles.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, and it's a real nice night for an evening.
You fear barbarians will swoop down upon you.
Yes, swooping is bad.
Who wants to go next? What's your favorite crack ship?
I have a few crack ships, actually.
Go ahead. Tell us all of them.
So we have dialogue where if you romance Dorian and Blackwall is in your party, Blackwall's like, so you and the Inquisitor, like, how? And Dorian's like, I can draw you diagrams if you want. And so this sparks like Blackwall's first gay experience energy. And I'm like, I could see that. And then the other one was Josephine and Iron Ball, because in the scene where she walks in on you, if you romance him, she just stares at Iron Bull's situation, and you just know she's like contemplating, like, do I want to try that sometime? And I'm like, yes, you do, Josephine. And I feel like she could also benefit from that sort of BDSM relationship, because she's really focused on meeting everyone else's needs, and maybe she needs time for herself.
These are really good points. I really agree about Josephine. Like, she really does need to loosen up. Like, she is so stressed out in Inquisition. So I get it. Also, I think Austin needs to share what he put in.
Well, I guess so. I said that Blackwall is baby gay and Dorian is daddy gay.
That is not how that dynamic works.
I don't think he means together. I think he just means in general.
I'm crying.
I am worried about all of us a lot.
I'm so glad my hot take have contributed to such chaos in the chat.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You know what? Wesbotron makes a good point. He does say his has been the most tame. Shame on all of us. This is fair. I think you opened the doors into whatever alternate dimension we have landed on for this evening. So let's just keep it moving. Psych, do you want to go next?
Yeah, because now I feel like I gotta top Wes here on Pod's take here. So let's go with Anders. Lotus, yes. It's chaos. I have actually been racking my brain trying to come up with a good one, because most of the characters that are your NPCs would just kill him for various reasons: mass murder, abomination, mage, whatever.
I think there is someone who would take him.
I came up with one. So we'll bounce back and forth. I came up with Calpurnia as someone who would put up with an Anders, specifically a Calpurnia who was either betrayed by Corypheus because the Inquisitor took the mages. So that leads to the Templars being the big ally, and no need for Calpurnia anymore. I think they would create a lot of havoc together, but that's about as far as I've gotten.
Okay, so I think we can take an Anders little detour. I'm shipping Anders and Zevran because I think, and this is why I say Zevran does kind of live for that like broody, tragic romance vibe. So I think that would initially attract him to Anders. But I also think at some point, there would be a point where kind of similar to Alistair, where Zevran would be like, oh, the Templars are bothering you. I'll go take care of that.
It's okay. I'll just go take care of that. Yeah. Maybe I could also see it turning, real bad, real fast. Anders has an episode and Zevran's like, oh, okay, none of that.
Zevran deserves better than Anders, but I can kind of see it.
This is fair. This is something I just thought of. This is a total crack ship. In Awakening, both Anders and Ogren are very into like drinking. And I feel like there's some chemistry there that like if they both got drunk, really drunk, they would try it, end up together, wake up the next morning and be like, what happened here? I could be about it. So I could see the case for Anders and Ogren.
That dialogue is almost real. I swear, there is dialogue where Anders explains why mages all wear robes. And he's like, ease of access, because we need to do it when we have time to do it. And Ogren's like, really? So,
Yeah, Ogren's like intrigued.
I can see it.
Thank you. That was not on my list of actual ones that I came up with, FYI. Lewis, are you the last one other than me?
I think so, but whatever I had in my brain has just gone after Cash said Alistair and Zevran. It's gone.
That's fair. I get that. Understandable. So I do have a couple of my own that I will just present and you all can weigh in on and tell me what you think if I am off my rocker or not. So the first one I have, which is actually legitimate, is Cassandra and Varric. Thank you, Austin. I feel like they have so much chemistry into an Inquisition, especially in the smutty literature scene, right? Like there's no way that there's not a little something there. So that's my first one. I also think there's really something there for me personally about, it's not quite enemies to lovers, but it is this like opposites attract, sunshine and grumpy, sunshine man and grumpy woman that I just love. So there's that's my first one. My second one, coming back to Alistair, is Alistair and Bethany. If they're both wardens, I feel like they have this innocence, sunshine, both sunshine characters that would just really mesh well together. I also feel like they have a lot in common, being like from that part of Ferelden and just like having to escape and fight the blight and all of that. I feel like they would have a lot of similarities. And then my last one, there's only one reason. Well, two things that I have. arguments for this. First of all, prefacing this with my first argument, Morrigan is not straight. That is the first thing that I just need us to establish. Morrigan is not straight. Second of all, Morrigan and Liliana, I totally ship it because of in Inquisition, when Morrigan shows back up, she is wearing the dress that she's wearing is in dialogue and origins. Liliana is like, oh, if you just got this dress, like accentuate your features, wear gold, like you would be so beautiful. And that's the dress that Morrigan is wearing in Inquisition. So I ship it.
There is no heterosexual explanation for that.
You reminded me of mine. It was Liliana and Morrigan.
Yes. If you have more actual legitimate reasons other than just the dress, please feel free.
I didn't really have additional reasons. It's just like the chemistry felt there.
I would like to point out that I recently did a playthrough, like towards the end with the Landsmeet, and you get stuck in Fort Dracon, and I had Morgan and Liliana come rescue me, and they both disguised themselves as Chantry sisters. And it's hilarious. It is the best rescue scene out of all of them. I haven't done all of them, but already the best.
Good to know. I love that. Did anyone have any other thoughts before we go to Steven? All right. Let's move on because I don't have time for that one. Steven, what is your ship that you wish, NPCs that you wish got together?
Hey, sorry for cutting out like that. My PC froze up, so I had to move to my phone.
No worries.
But anyway, I'm sure you've already probably mentioned Cassandra and Varric as one. That's one, and that's the one that was at the top of my list. But another one that I thought would be interesting and probably a hot take because nobody likes him, but Carver and Meryl, because I mean it'd be interesting because it's the Templar type character who's not a fan of blood mages, and Meryl, who is a blood mage, but there's already proof in Dragon Age 2 that he does have a crush on Meryl, and also this last playthrough that I've been doing of Dragon Age 2, I went with a mage hawk, so I've been able to experience Carver as a character, and even though he is honestly really annoying, he's got a deeper character to him than I think a lot of people give him credit for. And being able to see him grow throughout the game and the DLCs, I think makes him a good character. And I've always had a thing for redemption arcs, which I think they do well for him. And then, of course, Meryl being the bubbly type just really plays off his stoic, or I don't know if stoic is the right word, but their personalities kind of play off each other.
Yeah, I do agree with that. And I think, I don't know if you were in here when I was talking about there's a grumpy character and a sunshine character, and I love it when they get together. I feel like that's another example of that for sure. Only Carver is the grumpy one and Meryl, of course, is the sunshine one. So I think that's a great example. And I do agree that Carver was not given enough development in the game. Lewis said that in chat. So I for sure agree with that. I struggle with Carver, but I do think that he's a really good example of like your annoying sibling that you have a contentious relationship with. So I think he is good, like a good example of that. Whoever was writing that did an excellent job at portraying that. That is for sure. But I also wanted to say, so in the game, if you don't romance, Isabella or Fenris, they hook up. They don't necessarily like date or get into a relationship. They just hook up. But I really hate that actually, because like Isabella like dealt in slavery and all this stuff, and I just don't see them getting along at all in that way. But I think that Isabella and Meryl should be the ones to get together, instead of Isabella and Fenris, if you don't romance any of them, because they already have like, I don't want to say kind of a flirtationship, but like almost in some of the companion banter and dialogue into. So I feel like they should get together more than Isabella and Fenris.
I think the funniest thing about all of the Dragon Age 2 potential romances that we could see, because looking at Bethany, if you have her in her party and you have Sebastian, she completely flirts with Sebastian. Carver is totally into Meryl. And then, of course, most people from what I've seen in the fandom are all like, oh, Hawk and Fenris, whether it's male or female. It all stems from the fact that their parents are, Leandra is a Kirkwall noblewoman who fell in love with a circle mage. Opposites attract is literally part of their DNA.
That's a really good point. I very much agree.
I have an actual answer now.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it.
Wynn and Knight Commander Gregor.
Okay, that's implied in game though.
Okay, but it's not official. It's not in canon.
He's also the father of her baby.
That is just implied in the world of Thetis. How many people have read the world of Thetis?
Raise your hand. All of us. Not all of us, but a lot of us.
Anyway, I also think this would be a funny drunken hookup, would be Nathaniel Howe and Vivian.
Can you just explain why, please? Because I don't see it.
Because Nathaniel Howe is obviously like the son and heir to like a great noble family in Ferelden, and like Vivian does like power, but I feel like she wouldn't view Nathaniel as like having power because he's Nathaniel.
Have you ever even met Nathaniel in game?
Yes. Everyone here saw me do it on stream. I've seen him both in Awakening, and I've done the scenes with him in Dragon Age 2.
All right. Respect.
See, I ship Dragon Age Awakening Anders with Nathaniel. I could see that.
I'm still on my Anders and Ogren kick over here.
Now that would be an interesting throuple.
That sounds like it smells terrible.
I feel like there's nobody else as bad enough for Ogren except for Anders.
Ouch.
I feel like that's an insult to Anders. Like, I don't think he deserves it that much, frankly.
Poor Psyche.
Psyche, do you like Anders? I don't know.
I mean, I may have only talked about him for like an hour and a half that one time. It was fine.
Well, I feel like we've devolved into even more chaos. So, Austin, before we wrap it up, do you want to, or patrons, do you guys want to plug yourselves and whatever you're doing these days?
Yeah, so we'll do the same order. We'll start with Lizzie.
I will hopefully in the next week, because I think I finally have all my equipment I need, be streaming on Twitch again. So you can find me at twitch.tv/LVCC13. And I will hopefully also, if I have the attention span, be starting a YouTube channel where you can see some of my adventures in Japan. And also I'm actually going to start recording my streams now so I don't lose them forever.
You can find me on Instagram at Lewis Hackfeth. That's HACKFATH.
You can find me on my two podcasts, the MCU Lorecast and the Mass Effect Blue Shift tabletop RPG.
Capricorn Tower. You can find me in the Discord, which you should join.
Hi, I am Kolka. Join the Discord because it is an amazing place on the internet, and it is as much fun as this episode has been.
Hello, I am Crimson Knight on Discord.
Hello, I'm on the Discord, where I'm probably 50% of the chaos.
Well, thank you all for being here. Thank you for coming on and sharing your time with us and sharing all your amazing thoughts about Dragon Age and its potential love happenings, I guess is what I'll call it. Thank you all. Thank you to Lewis H. as our Nug King patron who gets shouted out at the end of every episode as well. And thank you all for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. We will see you next week. Thanks for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. You can find us on Twitter at DA Lorecast.
If you have any lore questions, topics to unpack, or side character suggestions, join our Cups Podcasting and More Discord server. It's easily the best place on the internet. You can also support us financially through our Patreon. You can find us there on patreon.com/DragonAgeLorecast.
The Dragon Age Lorecast is part of the Robots Radio Network. For more information about the Robots Radio Network, join the Discord server via the link in our episode description.
If you enjoyed the show or learned something new today, please subscribe, leave us a review, and join the Patreon. And if you enjoyed our intro and outro music, give a big thank you to Pipeman Studios. Thank you, Pipeman. Thanks again for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. We'll see you next time.
I'm your host, Maverick Stone.
It's me, Gingerino42.
I'm Romer.
Hey, this is Sassy Lady.
And I'm Jaxus. And we are the Fallout Roundtable. Join us as we explore various topics from the Fallout universe brought from multiple perspectives. We can be found on your favorite podcatchers from Spotify to iTunes. Or follow us on Twitter at FalloutRTB or our email falloutrtb@gmail.com. Be sure to rate, follow, and subscribe. Thank you.